Shooting it raw?
Yes. Shooting it raw.
What? Okay, so this is... Okay, so it's a group photo of 1, 2, 4, 6, 7 people. You're in the middle. It looks like you're almost wearing a kind of... Look, either a Harry Potter gown or a graduation gown or some kind of gown. Everybody's wearing this black something, so please don't tell me it's a funeral.
It's a funeral. It's
everybody's
a funeral.
Smiling. Is it?
Yeah.
It's a funeral.
It's a funeral. And I picked this
Everybody's
photo on
smiling.
purpose. Yeah. Well, so my mom just passed in March, and she was almost 98 years old.
Oh, wow.
And she had an amazing life. She had 15 siblings, so she grew up in a family
Whoa.
family of 18, so mom and dad, 16 kids, lived on a farm.
Oh, wow.
Several brothers went off to war. She was a military wife. She just was an amazing person up until the very end. And she was feisty as all get out, but it was so wonderful. And that day was very special because she planned her entire funeral.
Oh.
She planned it after my father died in 1993. She paid for it in 2010. I've had to plan other funerals for my brothers, and this was a gift that she gave me. And it was so nice. I had 5 older brothers. I have now 2 older brothers, and they are wonderful humans. But as far as doing stuff, it usually was me taking care of my mom's finances and health and everything. So it was a gift. It was a good day. We celebrated her life, and things were exactly as she wanted them.
Oh, okay.
Sorry.
No, sorry. No sorries.
Okay, no sorries.
No, it's all good. So, just to anchor the image, okay, it's basically people standing, full shot, facing the photographer. 4 women in the front, 3 guys in the back. It's within a large hall, so there aren't, it's just basically a group shot of you. There's no other people. What I love, these episodes are really funny because I never know what happens, and then sometimes the listener goes, you kind of stutter, falter, because it's like you present this, at this funeral, celebrating your late mom's incredible life. Now, are the people in the photograph here? I mean, it's so warm, it's so nice, and are you all family, or what's the relationship? Let us in. What's happening?
So the person, well, yes, they're all my family. They're my 2 sons and 2 daughters, and then my daughter-in-law and my husband. So my daughter, my daughter has the long blonde hair, and then my second daughter in front, has Down syndrome. So, and then my daughter-in-law is to the right of me, and then the guys are in back. Mitchell, Christopher, Brian. Yeah. So, it was a good moment, and they were all there, and they were all very supportive, and they were all helping out and being pallbearers and doing readings and just stepping up. And it just was really nice to have everybody there. It was so, it really was a celebration. I was preparing, I did the eulogy, which everybody told me not to, but I felt that for obvious reasons.
Is it?
Well, they say,
obvious?
They say not to, if you're really close to the person, because you could break down. And I thought, I had a friend in the audience who said, she goes, I will step in. If I see you, you just give me a signal and I'll run up. It was only 3 minutes. So that's all that they wanted it to, as long as the priest wanted it to be. So it was really interesting to start to think about this. My mom lived through 17 presidents. She lived through a world war and many other wars, the moon landing, the World Wide Web. I mean, just so many things. And when you think about that, 2 pandemics, like she was born at the end of during the Depression, just so many things that shaped who she was. She never finished high school, but she was always seeking knowledge. Up until she was 95, 96 years old, she was still doing crossword puzzles and word finds and still reading. Nice. So yeah, it was a good day. So it was sad. It was terribly, terribly sad, but it was so great to hear the stories that everyone told about her that I hadn't heard.
Of course. Okay, well, here's a story you haven't heard. I don't think. I was run over by a car when I was in my early 20s, and I had severe brain injury, and I was in a coma, and I was paralyzed, and it gave me a couple of things that really lasted, really shaped who I am. One of them, well, let's hold the podcast, right? Like, let's make every second count, right? Because from one moment to the next, I was just standing on the street, and then a car ran over me, and I came as close to death as a person could come. Then when I woke up, I was cognitively reduced to that of basically a child, right? I could barely read, I couldn't walk, all this stuff. And also in terms of thinking, I was also, like, I was aware of how easy, for example, it was to read and to talk and all this stuff. And yet my brain just was so damaged or hurt that I couldn't quite do it. And what that did was it really changed my relationship to time, to the present, to making sense of our lives, and being grateful and thankful. Mm-hmm. So when I see this image of family celebrating your mom, who ultimately shaped who you are in ways that you're conscious of, in ways that you're not conscious of. So if I were to ask her, I'm asking you to channel her in a weird way. How do you make every second count?
Oh, she would say, spend it with family. She was such a spiritual, religious person. She would go to church every single day if she could. That was her one thing. She never drove, so all through her life, so she relied on other people. So she didn't get that opportunity to go to church every day or do things like that. But she just was so in love with the faith and that religious part of it. She loved the songs and she loved everything about it. And she was grateful every day for every minute. And she had a goal. She wanted to live to be 100. And she almost made it. And she was so healthy. She wasn't sick at all. And within a week she was gone. But it's, for me, it was a blessing because she wasn't sick for so long and suffering. We kept her very, very comfortable. They did a great job through hospice, and she was wonderful. And she had a smile on her face. She was smiling, and she couldn't communicate with us. And she knew we were all in the room, but just up until that very last moment, she appreciated every second of her life.
Oh, and what time is it in your world right now?
It is 7:41 at night.
That's right, at night, right? In the evening, yeah. For me, it's 8:41.
Good morning.
In the morning. Thank you. Whoa, Anne, we started on a really intense note. Okay,
you did. I love it. I promise it'll get lighter.
No, it's not heavy. It's great because look, as somebody who's come close to death 3 different times.
3 different times.
It's part of life.
Yeah.
Yeah. Look, it just so happens, but it's all. I mean, if anything, like what a lesson. To celebrate somebody who is so important to all of your lives, and to have this nice, incredible moment to say goodbye, maybe, or to it's so totally beautiful.
Yes, thank you.
And thank you.
So, is life really a gift? Really? Can you make every second count? That's the whole point of the podcast. So, if you like what you've seen and you're inspired, because that really is my mission, then please give it a like, subscribe, and share.
Shooting it raw?
Yes, shooting it raw.